From 1947 until 1952, the Hooker Chemical Company used the Love Canal section of Niagara Falls as a dumping site for toxic waste.
President Carter declared a state of emergency today in the Love Canal area of New York's Niagara Falls, where toxic chemicals were discovered oozing from the ground.
That discovery in a Niagara Falls neighborhood triggered an environmental battle that played out on national television and became one of the most iconic in U.S. history. After the federal government finally evacuated hundreds of families, new laws were introduced to prevent future love canals.
Occidental Chemical Company agreed to pay $129 million.
My 3 kids were born with birth defects. My wife's had cancer.
More than 3 decades later, what happened to residents exposed to these chemicals? And what happened to the place that came to symbolize the nightmare of toxic waste in America?
Early history. In the 1890s, William Tillove attempted to build a canal to connect the Niagara River to Lake Ontario for hydroelectric power, but the project was abandoned due to lack of funds. Next, for the dumping of chemical waste happened in 1942 until 1953. In the early 1914, Hooker Chemical bought the site to use as a waste dump. So the waste disposal, over 21,000 tons of chemical waste, including toxic, carbonic substances like dioxin, benzene, and PCB, were burned in steel dump and disposed of the canal area. For the development of the area for construction, despite warning from hawkers, schools and homes were built on the land, distributing the waste camp and causing toxic chemical to deep in the soil and groundwater. And then residents grew by the late in 1915 a community of around 800 homes and the school were established in Love Canal. For the emergence of heat problem in 1970s, heat concern, resident reports had issues including an unusual high number of miscarriage, birth defect and respiratory problems. And then for the environment indicator, chemical surface in basement, backyard and herbaceous, dye and puddle of toxic sludge form in the area. Then, impact and aftermath. For Superfund legislation in 1918, the Love Canal disaster directly led to the creation of the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation and Liberty Act, commonly known as a Superfund Act, which hold polluter accountable for cleaning up hazardous waste site. And then for the cleaning up legislation efforts, in Love Canal continued into the 1980s, but part of the area remained uninhabitable. And for the long-term effects, many residents suffered in long-term health effects, and Love Canal become contributed about the consequent improperly managed hazardous waste. Lastly, for the legacy and lesson play, the tragedy highlight the need of stricter regulation on hazardous waste disposal, and the effort of local activities play a crucial role in exposing the issue. And then the role of environmental law and policy. Love Canal remain a landmark case in U.S. environmental history, reinforcing the importance of environmental health problems. The summary of the Love Canal tragedy exposed the danger of toxic waste management and lead to significant changes in environmental law. And ongoing relevant, the legacy of Love Canal remind us of the importance of responsible waste management, environmental regulation, and community to prevent future environmental health disaster.